Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about Marvel's hit Monkey Episode 8. A great episode. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. This is actually like a very sweet yet sad and bittersweet episode in many different regards. I love the parallels of the monkey trying to recapture what he lost as he's trying to find a new home, because the owl or bird or whatever is nearby, it's like, oh yeah, like they're a new tribe, they moved in after your people died, and it's like, where are my people's bodies? It's like, oh yeah, I ate them out and basically shit them over the land. And it's just kind of like, you don't belong with them, you smell like death, and you walk like an asshole. And so, but he tries to make himself at home there, while at the same time, got a janitor that's in there, rather than mopping up the actual salt, he sweeps it up, and it just sweeps Bryce into a corner. Basically, the more like restringent, like the more salt it is, the like, I guess like the more confined it is, the more of a strain it's taking on him, and it makes him start reliving his life. So I like, we'll start off with the monkey side of things. So the monkey ends up befriending the tribe, because he ends up, like, some red stripes come in, they're like punking a kid named Koji, and so the monkey steps in to defend him, and the leader of the red stripes like tries to step to the monkey, but the monkey's not scared, which before now he hid away the suit and the gun. He was like, I'm not going to be that killer, I'm not going to try to fit amongst the human world, I'm just going to go back to being a monkey again. Because obviously for him, it's like when he looks at the monkeys, like, oh, picking like ticks and stuff, like, the whole thing of like, oh, they go through each other's hair and eat what's there, like, it's like that looks disgusting to him, because it's like, right, he's gotten so cute. And that's the whole thing of like, oh, you walk like an asshole now. I was like, yeah, he walks like a human, because he's been in the human world for so long now. He's acclimated more to that than just being the monkey. But he wants to leave all that human stuff, all the killing, all that behind, and just go back to being a monkey, try to reclaim what he lost before. So by helping out Koji's like, hey, like, talks to the rest of the villagers when their stripes go away, and they're like, hey, let's, like, can he, like, stay here, He probably doesn't end up telling them that this used to be his home, but it's just like, right, like, I'm trying to leave the entire past behind, even the people I've lost, so, like, just, like, a fresh start for the monkey. And obviously they make fun of him because, like, oh yeah, you're a bare bottom, but it's all like, I think it was like Koji's sibling was like, yo, like, he deserves respect, he protected my little brother, so, like, show him some respect, he deserves that. And so he starts trying to make himself part of the, he starts becoming part of the tribe, and he starts playing with Koji. Like, he actually taught Koji, like, Koji's like, oh, sneak attack, and he's like, oh, the thing about sneak attacks is you're not supposed to make any noise. Even once again, I don't know whether it was something more or whether it's just like, oh, we're part of the family now, but Koji's sibling, because I don't know if that was like a brother or a sister. That's why I'm like, I don't know what the dynamic was between that monkey and, well, our monkey. But when it was all said and done, though, like, he felt like he had a home again until the red stripes stepped in. And it's like, right, they're like, their pool ended up cool, getting super cool, so they came here to take theirs, and it's like, we have to leave, but Monkey's like, no, we have to fight back. And it's like, oh, haven't you called us enough? And one of the monkeys the one that had the biggest issues with Monkey steps to him, and he takes him down. It's like, right, I'm not going to just defeat them, we're going to work together, we're going to crush them, and, this is our home, and we're going to protect it. So he trained them up, the red stripes came to attack, but I was like, the moment they were all stationed like that, I was like, those are going to be snow monkeys, aren't they? And it's like, yeah, they were. And so they were hiding beneath the water, and they waited for the moment to strike. They had some nets ready, they had a pit ready. The leader was super pissed the moment he saw Monkey, because before he was like, oh, you're not worth my time, and this time he was like, yeah, you're definitely not worth my time. Luckily, Koji came up behind with a sneak attack, and he, it's like, right, I did it right, and in that moment, the red stripe killed Koji, hit him over the head with a rock. And Koji's like, you're my big brother, right? And you're like, oh, that's heartbreaking, dude. That sucks. All this monkey death. Because monkeys are so damn adorable. And I think maybe there's some part of me that kind of feels connected. Because, like, in the Chinese zodiac, I'm a 92 baby, so, like, the year of the monkey. So maybe, like, that's why I feel some kinship or something like that. Which is weird to say. But maybe because on some, like, astrological sign, that's why, like, it hits hard. I mean, animal death in general is going to hit you. And since, like, that's the main animal deaths we get this series, is monkey deaths. I think that's why it's hitting me. But still. But the fact is that it sucks that it came down to that. And, it's like, right, you promised that no one would get hurt. And like the monkey feels like he fell. And even that red stripe was like, yo, I'm sorry what happened, but I gave you chances to leave. And I'm doing what I'm doing just to protect my tribe. That's the sad thing. I mean, it's the circle of life. It's like, yeah, like he's trying to do what for his people, the same thing the monkey's doing for this tribe. It's like, I'm just trying to protect what's mine. Monkey went and got the gun, shot him in the chest, and then lit him up and emptied the entire clip in him. But then, like, everyone runs. Red Stripes and this new tribe he found, like, everyone's scared of him because it's like, oh, and they run off. And who knows if they'll ever come back. And in that moment, it's just like, right, despite everything, despite wanting a fresh start, despite this new family, like, you can't escape what you've become. And now it's like they won't accept you. And he gets his Mufasa moment of, like, his leader coming to him yet again to be like, you have to remember the beginning to see the end. And he's like, stop talking in riddles. It's like, the fact of the matter is, everything I ever did, I try to make you fit amongst the monkeys, but that was never going to fit. But you are forever destined to walk between both worlds, never belonging with the humans, never belonging with the monkeys, but protecting both. A killer of killers. This is your destiny, and you have to go back. And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to walk this alone. Like, he's like, bury those feelings of walking this alone, and you'd be surprised what you find. And when he dug a grave, when he was digging, he found Bryce's body, and I guess it kind of cemented, like, right, I'm not 100% alone in this. I kind of left behind the other person who's with me, like, who walks this lane with me. And so he buried both Koji and Bryce, gave them a proper burial. And I love that bird came by. He was like, oh, you going to eat that? And then he kind of looks, Monkey points the gun at him. He's like, it's a circle of life, asshole. So, while that's happening, we get a rehash of, like, not rehash, but a look at Bryce's life. And even it all comes full circle with that picture. Like, I didn't get it at first. I was like, I didn't realize the dude with, like, the brown hair and everything, like, that was Bryce. We learned about, like, Haley and Iris, like, his upbringing. His mom always had a new guy in his life, new mentor, new father figure in his life. It's just one D-bag after another. It's like they're like a rotating door in and out of his life. He ends up meeting Haley. They have a baby together. That's Iris. But then, like, he meets his mom's latest boyfriend, Eli. And for him, Eli actually felt like, no, you're actually a good guy. But then he finds out Eli has a past. He has, like, a robber's mask and a gun. And I was like, oh, you're a bank robber? Or were you a killer? Like, what was going on? But he was like, oh, I try to leave my past behind. That's the sad thing about the past. It's never that easy to get away. Like, no matter how far you run, the past has a way of sneaking up on you. And so, in a process, it's just like, it's like wanting to believe in Eli because, like, oh yeah, your family and everything, that he just kind of ignores it. And it's like, yeah, like, this is a fresh start for him. And, because it's like, he likes Eli because, unlike his mom's previous boyfriends, like, he's like, no, you're a good guy. You've been there for me. You support me. You're just legitimately a good guy. Because he's like, no matter what, I promise you my past will never come back to hurt your family. Well, while he's out with Haley and Iris, they're looking at those things from the photo booth. And, trying to figure out, it's like, oh, where they'd like to live. And she wanted to go to New York. But for him, it's like, it's not a lot of money. We don't have the money that would take to live there. But he's like, it's not too bad here. And she's like, no, it's not. And at first I was like, because we heard about his daughter, but we didn't hear about Haley, her mom. So I was curious, like, did she die or something like that? And it's like, no, she's still alive. People that Eli screwed over in a previous job came back from, they call him Elwin. And, you have Bryce lying, being like, no, the guy, like, emptied my mom's bank account and he left, like, he's gone, like, that's why we have the truck. And it's like, oh, and they believed him and left. But then that Eli was packing up his stuff. He got a whole bunch of money, I guess the money from the El Paso job, and was trying to leave. And his mom was trying to stop him, but he ends up pushing her into the wall. Now, I don't know if she died from that or whether she was just passed out, because I think she is moving later on. So I don't think she died from it. At least I don't believe. But she might have died from it. He's like, oh, there was an accident. But then, like, I don't know. But then, like, I think she just got knocked out. Maybe, hopefully. But Bryce pulls the gun on him. And he's like, oh, like, and he's the one where Bryce got the words like, oh, you pick up a gun in anger, you're never going to put it down. He's like, I know, because 20 years ago, I was you. You don't have to be like, come on, just put the gun down and let me go. It's all going to be okay. And they struggle over the gun, and Eli gets shot. And Eli's like, yeah, you're done. Like, they're gonna like lock you up for this. It's just like, yeah, you're on this path now. You're going to end up just like me, essentially. And we find out Bryce left his family behind. He left Haley the money. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm running so you don't have to. Take care of our daughter. I love you. And you're like, oh, that's heartbreaking. He had to leave everything behind because, like, right, he did kill. Because once again, like, if his mom was like either knocked unconscious or dead, it's like there's no one to corroborate the story. It just looks like he's the bad guy in this situation. Like, it was just, you know, so he would have gone away for a long time. So he decides to run. And it's sad how, you know, getting this sympathetic look at Bryce's life like that. It's like I said, just the parallels between it. And so, cutting back to present day, the monkey made his way back to town. And he sets Bryce free. He's like, yeah. And Bryce is apologizing. And the monkey's like, it's okay. He's like, no, it's not okay. Like, he's like, I know what it's like to have terrible mentors in your life and what that can do to you. Because the monkey's like, we're a tribe now. He's like, a tribe. I like the sound of that. I'm like, yeah. It's like, it's actually legitimately, like I said, it's sad situations for both of their stories this episode. But it was almost like this beautiful, sweet. But when it was all said and done, it's like, right, like, we got 2 weeks to the election, so let's get this vengeance thing going so that you can kind of, like, figure things out for yourself. And he's like, I can be, you know, alone, like, you know, because he's thinking, like, probably, like, once this is over, it's over, so. But it turns out they don't have 2 weeks because the election's in 24 hours. And Bryce is like, how long was I in there? It seems like he was in there for nearly an entire 2 weeks, so they've got even less time. Once again, let's not forget, I'm surprised, Lady Bullseye didn't find him, but it's like, yeah, probably hard to really track him down. So the monkey's been removed from the equation. So they've been out of commission this entire time. So how long, I mean, what's happened in that 2 week period, you know, with the other people, Akiko, Shinji, because it looks like Shinji might be winning the polls. Once again, we're down to the last 2 episodes of the season, so we'll see how this Shinji thing plays out. But what's up with Akiko? What about Haruka? She was set out on her mission, so where all that is, maybe we'll find out in the next episode. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see where all this ends up taking us going forward. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. To the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.